Hi, welcome to my doll customizing journey. My name is Josephine and these are my creatures. I have so much to show you guys in this video and limited time, so I decided to skip and combine some of the parts of the video. And because of copyright issues, I can't show you images from the movie Maleficent Mistress of Evil. That was the inspiration for this doll. I went to see the movie with my friend when it came out last year, and I really loved the concepts and looks of the Dark Fae. I knew I wanted to use this Claudia doll for something very special, because she has the big sister body and she is not easy to find. And when I had the idea of doing a Dark Fae inspired custom, I immediately knew that this is the project for Claudia. For hair, I picked out black yarn because I wanted the hair to fit the doll's ethnicity. In the movie, there is many different cultures represented in the Dark Fae community. To make the yarn easier to reroute, I split the yarn into 3 pieces. Then I just start plugging the holes. You can go a little bit sparse on the middle parts because the fiber is so thick. To secure the hair, pour some glue into the head and spread it around in there. To start the horns of the Fae, I use Claudia's existing ears as a base. I just shorten them a bit. Use wire to add stability. Don't forget to protect the hair while you work on the horns. I take inspiration from real animals. I had many options to choose from. I really wanted to find a unique horn shape. I settled with this giant eland. I thought the horns looked cool and the white stripes on the animal's body inspired me as well. Again, I use Magic Sculpt to make the horns. I start with making the base shape of the horns and then adding details to them with the second pass of my sculpting medium. I want to highlight the details on the horns with dry brushing, so I start with a dark brown base color. To do the dry brushing technique, I grab a little bit of light brown paint on my brush and then drag it across the surface to highlight the details. I seal my work with a coat of matte varnish. You can find the materials I use in the description box below. I also added a little bit of glossy MSC to the very tips to give it more detail. Next, I'm styling the hair. I'm adding braids, beads, and pieces of fabric to create this very wild hairstyle for her. Another prominent feature that is shown in the movie is the crazy cheekbones. All the Fae, including Angelina Jolie, who plays Maleficent, have them. So I have to include this feature on my doll. I'm carefully sanding the vinyl head with my Dremel tool. I finish off the sanding with a finer sandpaper to get the surface as smooth as I can. Before we start working on the face-up, we need some calories to do that. Creme brulee. Okay, back to the face-up. I start with pastels as always. I also drew the eye whites and colored the teeth in the first layer. On the second layer, I refine the eye shape with my watercolor pencils. I detailed her lips with a couple of lines. I really like how they turned out. I'm making the eyebrows quite wild and bushy because I just like bushy eyebrows. I go on adding lighter and darker details to the face and really making everything seem balanced. The iris color of the Fae is very piercing honey, so I make her eyes a similar color. I wanted to add a shimmering effect to the eyes with my new Pearl X powders, which I'm so excited to use. But the powder on its own is very hard to control, but in the end I ended up mixing the powder to the Tamiya gloss, and that was so much easier to paint on precisely. To add interest, I decided to paint on 2 white stripes on her cheek, kind of like war paint. I gloss the eyes and lips to make them shiny. Another extra detail is this lip piercing I wanted to add. To prep the body, I start with sanding. I move on to adding curves to her body with Magic Sculpt. While sanding the Magic Sculpt, I also get rid of the horrendous molded panties. I mix acrylic paints as close as I can to her skin tone and paint over the torso. When the paint dried, the color ended up being a little too dark, so I had to tweak it more and paint the legs and arms as well. The face did not match the body completely in the beginning either, so I guess this is the closest I can get. I seal my work with matte varnish. I let it dry and move on to working with the wings. To start the wings, I first search reference pictures on Pinterest and then start to sketch the shape of them on paper. I decided to use Delightful's popsicle stick technique for the wings because I want them to be hyper realistic looking. I start the construction by measuring the sticks by eye against my rough drawing. To fix the wings in place, I have 2 small hinges, then I have a short stick with holes on both ends. The middle part has 2 sticks so that the other pieces can slide between them. The last part is the longest and it has only 1 hole on one of the ends. The other one tapers into a point. To hold the pieces together, I use small bolts and nuts. You can think this as a sort of skeleton for the wings. Before I assemble the wings, I coat the pieces with water and glue mix to prevent cracking. Because I must have redone all the pieces 3 times, they just split so easily. I add this little bone detail to the wings as well. I fix the other sides of the hinges to the doll's back with 2 screws and secure everything with 2-part epoxy glue. Then I finally assemble the wings and tighten the screws. I paint the wings to make sure that if something is peeking through, you won't be able to see it very well. Next step is to add meat and skin to our skeleton. I use brown felt for that. I bought it from the craft section of our supermarket. You can use whatever color that matches your wings. First I sewed the felt on, but then changed my mind and decided to glue it on instead. This way I got it to lay a lot flatter. Make sure while you're adding the felt that you don't cover the bolts and nuts, because you probably want to have access to them to tighten them. I start covering the felt with feathers. For this I use hot glue because it's fast drying. When you arrange the feathers to the wing, you wanna first sort them in piles of small, medium and large. Use the largest ones in the tip of the wings and work your way up. My feathers are also very curvy as well, so you need to pay attention to the direction of the feather that it flows with the shape of the wing. I did cut some of them smaller, but because of the feathers have a very unique pattern, you can't really cut them without ruining the shape and pattern. I work in layers to cover both of the wings. Just gluing the feathers actually took me 6 hours. It was very time consuming, but I loved it. My back, not so much. All of that sitting is not good for it. The inside is more fluffy and lighter in color because bird wings are different looking on the inside than the outside in real life. To make the edge look neat and covered, I use a skinny piece of fake fur folded and glued together. Make sure to move the wings when you glue this in place. You don't want to prevent the movement of the joints. I trim the fur to make it look more realistic. I glue a couple of feathers into the fur to make it blend more. This would have been easier to do before I made the wings, but I was so excited to start working on them that I completely forgot. But I protected the wings with a plastic bag. I spray it with Mr.SuperClear sealant or MSC. And then I add blushing in red and contouring in brown pastel to the body to make it match face up. I decided to add more realism to her by painting the palms of her hands a lighter brown. Also, I decided to add nipples to this doll to scare off everyone that could be considered a child. To prove to the FTC and YouTube that yes, this really is art and it is for adults. I hope I don't have to get more 18+ on this channel because I think the nipples are creeping me out enough. We do have good news that the FTC has recognized doll customizing as content for the general audience. But you never know what happens. Thank you to everyone who talked about this, sent comments or signed the petition to save our community here on YouTube. I think the future for my channel and everyone else's is looking a little bit brighter right now. If you want to help me out with my channel, you can like this video and leave a comment. And also subscribe and tap the bell so that you don't miss out on new uploads. To make her pass YouTube's other rules, we need to now cover the nipples we just made. So I macrameed this little jewelry necklace thing and then added wrapped beads around her neck. I was a little bit lost what to do with her bottoms, but in the end I decided to go for this suede maxi skirt with a leather waistband. Off camera, I did add a little bit of a geometric patterns in gold paint to make it look more interesting. I always like to shorten the neck peg to make it easier to shove the head back on. And now she is done. winter in Finland at the moment, so I was not able to photograph her outside. I will do that when the summer rolls around, but meanwhile our living room wall will have to do. She does not have a name yet, because I have just been calling her Dark Fae. If you have name suggestions, leave them down below. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't yet done that, and tap the bell while you're at it. Like this video and leave a comment. I would love to know what you think of this Dark Fae. Until next time, bye!